Hi guys, this is Omer from MMOHut.com. I'm doing another quick weekly recap of MMO news and announcements for the week ending December 11th, 2011. That is 2/11s. Anyway, as you can see from the video playing in the background, the first piece of news that we're going to take a look at this week has to do with MapleStory, and the news is that on December 7th, the first part of the Legends update has gone live for the game, which has added the new Cannoneer class to the game, the first of 3 new classes being added in the Legends update. Now the Cannoneer is a pirate accompanied by a monkey who uses a ship cannon as a hand cannon in battle. As mentioned last week, the Windslayer and Mercedes classes will also be added to MapleStory in the coming weeks. Next up guys, on December 5th, 2011, War Inc. Battlezone enters second round of open beta. The new beta phase offers new camera and player controls as well as new weapons to try. Now I'm not sure why the game is having a second round of open beta, because usually open beta means it's pretty much out and the next phase will be released, but there's a second round of open beta for some odd reason. And if you couldn't tell by the gameplay video right now, the game is actually a third-person MMO shooter, and it's published by a company called Online Warmongers. Next up guys, also on December 5th, Perfect World Entertainment announced a new expansion pack for Jade Dynasty called Legacy. I'm not exactly sure why the official teaser trailer for the new update is actually a CGI cinematic trailer, because there's no gameplay in here. I'm not sure why they're showing this off. But anyway, the new update will be adding an entirely new area to the game, as well as 2 new classes, Mages and Forta, as well as a new instance, the Crimson Peaks Voidland, which will be available for 10 to 25 players, making it the largest instance yet. Also including the update is some rebalancing for some of the game's gear, including stronger ethereal and celestial armor, and some tweaks to the game's faction skills. Next up is a bit of sad news for NeoSteam players, and the news is that NeoSteam will actually be shutting down officially on February 8th, 2012. I believe NeoSteam was actually the first MMORPG to be published by Atlas Online, and the game again will be shutting down, unfortunately. Now it's really no surprise again, because the game itself was never really that popular, but it's always sad to see a game shut down. But as I've always said, for every game that shuts down, there seems to be many new games taking its place, so free-to-play keeps getting bigger. Next up, on December 6, 2011, Fiesta Online announced a major new expansion to the game called Expedition to Adelia. As you probably figured out, the expansion will add a new area to the game called Adelia, thus the Expedition to Adelia. The expansion will raise the game's level cap, add a new open world dungeon, and much more. Fiesta Online plans to launch this expansion alongside with the launch of the browser-based client. Yeah, so aside from the new expansion, Fiesta Online will be fully playable on the browser soon. Up next, on December 8th, 2011, Eudemons Online announced a new expansion pack called the Trumpet of the Legionnaire, and it'll be launching on December 22nd. And the update will add the new Legion Eudemons pet to the game, or is it Eudemons or Eudemons? I'm not sure, but I keep calling it Eudemons. So basically we get new Eudemons pets and mounts, with the new pets being only summonable once players visit the Legion Towers. And the video you're seeing in the background is actually the official trailer for the upcoming expansion. Not sure why it's a CGI trailer, because it really doesn't tell you much about the game. I always prefer gameplay trailers to CGI trailers myself, and I'm sure most of you guys do too. The CGI trailers for some games can look really cool. And again, this update will be launching on December 22nd. Up next, on December 8th, 2011, Windslayer 2 released the new Team Deathmatch PvP mode. So it's actually a very small update to the game, just a new PvP game mode, as well as new premium items in the game's cash shop, but other than that, there's no actual gameplay changes. And bam, that was real quick. Moving right along, on December 8th, 2011, Trickster Online releases the Chaos Tower update, which adds a new area to the game called Chaos Tower, as you probably guessed. The update introduces new NPCs and quests to the 72-floor Chaos Tower dungeon available at Kabbalah Relics. Also included in the update is a weapon forging system, which lets players combine loot from Chaos Tower into new and powerful weapons. Also included are new honor titles for completing achievements. Now this actually isn't a bad update, but I feel like every time a game developer adds like a huge tower with like 70 floors on it, it's a really cheap way to add content to a game. I mean, at least develop more maps, not just like one big tower with 70 floors. Come on, well it's actually 72 floors, but you get the point. Up next guys, also on December 8th, 2011, OG Planet introduced a new update to Redstone, which adds a new character class to the game called the Champion. And yes guys, the video you're seeing in the background, this animated cutscene, is the official trailer for the Champion class for the game. I'm not sure why they couldn't show you the actual gameplay, but yeah, this is what the game actually should show us. But the Champion class combines spiritual power with martial arts to defeat foes. Also included in this update though is the game's character creation limit has been increased from 4 to 6. And in case you actually want to see a little bit of gameplay for the Redstone, here's a gameplay clip for the game. It looks a bit like Diablo 1 actually, as well as a bit of Dark Eden. The game's graphics are definitely not up there, but the game has a good amount of class variety to keep you kind of entertained for a while. Next up, Nexon unveils a new character class with Dungeon Fighter Online coming on December 12th, 2011. The new playable character is the Male Fighter. Yeah, you heard me correctly, the Male Fighter. It's a very uninspired name, not sure what they called it. Again, the Male Fighter. They couldn't think of anything else cooler, but yeah, he's a hand-to-hand combat specialist who can specialize in the 4 subclasses, the Ned Master, the Brawler, the Striker, and the Grappler. And again, this update will be available on December 12th. Up next, the Adventure Style Update is now live for Blackshot as of December 8th. The Adventure Style Update adds a few new things to the game, including a new Search and Destroy map called Tomb, a new female character, Adventuress Isabel, and 2 new weapons, the SMG MP7 custom type, and the M19145 caliber. It's actually a really small update to the game, and the game is published by 2War. Again, this update is already live and went live officially on December 8th. The next and last bit of news, guys, is from the Legend of Mir 3, and the news is that the game is actually shutting down. We Made Entertainment is shutting the game down officially on February 9th, 2012. Now again, this is no big surprise because the Legend of Mir 3 was never really that popular here in the West. However, the game is still pretty popular in China, and the Chinese version of the game remains online. And until the game shuts down, players will get a 500% bonus experience rate, so they can experience some of the late game stuff if they never got there. Well, that's it for MMO news, but as for games that recently launched, we have a few games to look at. The first one is Rosh Online, The Return of Karos, which officially launched on December 7th, 2011. And in case you couldn't tell, the game is the exact same game as Karos Online, which is available through NHN, but this version of the game is supposedly more updated. The game is published by Ignited Games, the same company behind Windslayer 2. And the launch comes with a new update adding the Siege War and Mining War for PvP fans, along with new pets and weapon enchant stones in the item store. Keep in mind, guys, the way it's supposed to work is Rosh Online is supposed to be the more updated version of Karos Online, while Karos Online is the global version of the game, while Rosh Online is the North American only version of the game. Both games will still be running, so it's not like one will be shutting down to replace the other. But again, if you're from North America, you're going to want to be playing on the Rosh Online version, because the Karos Online version is no longer aimed at American users. The whole licensing thing is pretty weird. I'm not sure why there's just not one big global server. It'll just make more sense for everybody, but who knows. Next up, on December 7th, 2011, EverQuest 2 is now fully free to play. Now, the game first launched as EverQuest 2 Extended, which is a limited free to play version of the game, but however, now it is actually EverQuest 2 free to play, where all of the game's content up to the Sentinel's Fate expansion pack, plus the Freeport Reborn update is all free to play. The game's newest expansion, though, Age of Discovery, is available for purchase in the game's cash shop. The game is basically much more free to play now than it was before, and it doesn't have the really annoying restrictions. If you liked EverQuest but you didn't like the restrictions before, you definitely want to check the game out now. Well, that's it for recently launched games, but as for games coming soon, we have Brawl Busters from Rock Paper Productions launching officially on December 15th. Now, the game has already been out in the open beta, so the whole official launch is not really a big deal. And that's because, again, the game is still playable right now. Also coming with the game's official launch, though, is a new game mode, a new district, as well as new accessories and holiday-themed items. But anyway, guys, that's it for MMO news and announcements for the week ending December 11th, 2011. Now, if you want to read about or learn more about any of the news mentioned in this video, simply head on over to MMOHut.com/news. And if you want to discuss anything in this video, simply head on over to MMOHut.com/forums. Anyway, guys, this is Omer, signing off.